Bienvenidos, damas y caballeros. Welcome back to Freeform Radio on the Freeform Network. Remember to follow us on Twitter at FFR Podcast. Send in those questions at ffnquestions@gmail.com. But again, this is Freeform Radio. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Daniel. With me today is Noel.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us.
And we got Andy.
It's all good, Andy, and we're here to attack your ears off, and I'm glad everybody is going to join us this week.
For sure. So let's get this thing moving and going. Andy, what is this? What are your predictions for the midterm elections? They're coming up. By the time this drops, we'll probably have the results. I'm assuming, because with all these mail-in ballots, who knows when we'll have the results. But midterm elections, what are your feelings right now?
So yeah, I mean, when the episode drops, we'll probably already know what happened. So I just wanted to discuss it. I mean, apparently, the news media, we all know what's going on, no matter who you vote for. I think we can all agree that things are kind of rough financially and domestically. There's a lot of hot topic issues like always abortion. Apparently, that stirs up a lot of people on the right and the left. No matter how you feel about it. But I think overall, a lot of people generally, if you look at some of the polls regarding how the president's job approval, it's pretty much down. I mean, it's nothing. I think it's over 50%. I really didn't look it up. I just know a lot of people you talk to, they're dissatisfied with what's going on in Washington, like who isn't, right? And so a lot of people, 2 years in, the president and current President Biden, we got the midterms, and apparently enough people are pissed that some places are going to start voting more conservative, more Republican, and a lot of people in the news media, mostly CNN and MSNBC, are kind of pissed off, and I love it when you have a ton of like commercials right now going on, political commercials. I think the key word, I feel like I'm in the 90s then with everything is extreme. I think like Paul Heyman is doing these commercials
Right.
For the Democrats or the liberal side, because every other word, too extreme. And every time I see that, I think of the old ECW theme on TNN theme. And so, even across the country, I mean, I watch a lot of college football and I'm streaming channels from across the country. Basically, it's the same commercial, just in a different state. California is a little bit different. They announce on the commercials, the political, who paid for the commercial, which was, I found that, I wish we kind of do that here in Illinois. I think that was pretty cool.
Right.
But midterms coming up. I think here in Illinois, we got the governor race. I think Pritzker's going to win, but like we kind of talked about it, man. We did see a commercial that they brought out Obama to support Pritzker, and that to me raised an eyebrow. So it's probably a lot closer than we think.
Right. You mentioned that you've been seeing on the news that they're predicting this red tidal wave. Have you seen that on like CNN, NBC, stuff like that?
I think, yes, I've seen some of it on MSNBC, CNN. They're saying stuff like it's going to happen, and like that they're starting to use some scare tactics, like people are going to lose rights and all this stuff. It's like a scare tactic. I did see some of that.
I guess the only reason I bring it up is that I remember when Hillary was going for the presidency, and they were saying like right and left, Hillary's going to win. Hillary's got it, landslide. And then the election turned out way different. So I wonder if the same's happening with this red tide. My gut feeling is that a few seats are going to change red, but I still feel that the blue side is going to keep a majority of their seats. I don't think it's going to be such a great tidal wave as a lot of news broadcasts are showing.
Mainstream media is not saying that as much, but they are what they say is that the Democrats too have some challenges, and like a lot of it is everybody's focused on Pennsylvania, and the last polls I saw is Oz was up, Dr. Oz, which was strange, but okay.
Is he running Republican or what is
yeah,
he?
he says he's a Republican.
Okay.
And the guy that's running against him, Fetterman, had a stroke like 6 months ago.
Oh.
And he stayed in the race, and that's why you see all these clips of him just like he's obviously has some health issues. And it's pretty bad. And you can see clips on any video site that there's something going on, and like he does a couple things. He does well, but there's things where like it's obviously he's being fed lines. He doesn't know what's going on. So that one I checked, Oz was up. I heard Georgia for the Senate. Herschel Walker's up big time. Not big time. He's up like 5-6 points. I think in Florida, they're making it sound like DeSantis and that's a governor run that and Christ are pretty close. I think DeSantis is up. And then the other big one, the one in Arizona, I think, or Nevada, Arizona. The former news reporter turned candidate Carrie Lake, she's up pretty big, and you know all these people are extremists. If you look at the commercials, and I think for the governorships, a lot of these states are going to have Republican governors, and here in Illinois, who knows? I don't know. But when I saw Obama as a commercial for Pritzker, I'm like, ooh, something's going on that we don't know about. So I think they're afraid a lot more people are going to turn out and vote, and that's why they brought out Obama. They want to make sure. I think people from Northern Illinois, DuPage and Cook County, definitely go out and vote for Pritzker.
Right. I mean, I think definitely the hardship of inflation, rising costs of everything,
and crime.
It's definitely even the crime. But I was just filling up my tank this morning, and I was reading that little placket that they have about the Illinois gas tax, that it's expiring at the end of December. So we only got 2 more months of this, kind of relief. And I was Googling what the Illinois state gas tax is. And
It's
it's
like
about
30 cents,
it's
right?
40 cents. It's about
Yeah.
40 cents. So get ready on January 1st for gas to jump up 40 cents just overnight. And that's just from that tax being added back on. So I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are looking for change. I'm not saying the Republicans are necessarily the answer. There are some Democratic state seats that are up that I've been seeing commercials and kind of reading into these candidates. And some of them aren't half bad. Some of them are, pretty good candidates. So I'm not saying red is the answer, but definitely a lot of people got choices coming up. And, it's, go ahead, Andy. You want to talk?
So just like we talked about, it's all like the mainstream media is not direct, but we kind of talked about it earlier in the week, that article in the Atlantic, we need a COVID amnesty. And because they were talking about the blue states governors and they were listening to Fauci and the CDC, who kind of got COVID wrong. And I think it's in general agreement that the lockdowns did not work. The vaccines maybe offer some support, but they're not working as advertised. And that's why this whole article about COVID amnesty, and it got everybody on the Twitterverse and social media up in arms about like forgiving Fauci, forgiving the governors that put COVID people in nursing homes, which caused a lot of despair early on in the pandemic. Like they want you to forget about all that, and a lot of people, you're kind of like, let's just move forward, which I kind of agree, but it pissed off a lot of people because a lot of people felt that they were lied to or misled, or worse, maybe they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And a lot of those same people who were doing that are stepping back and saying, "Oh, I didn't do this." They're just flat out lying. Like I saw the Michigan governor did some interview and she says, "I didn't do that. Put people affected with COVID in nursing homes, in which killed a lot of or allegedly a lot of senior citizens got sick and passed away from COVID." And she kind of denied it, and there's proof that she did it. Same thing with Cuomo, that got Cuomo in trouble in New York because he was covering up the death numbers because he didn't want that to get out. And he goes, "I was just doing what they told me to do, the health department or NIH or CDC or something like that." So there's a lot of blame being passed around, and also a lot of people got upset with the school lockdowns. And Governor Whitmer in Michigan said, like, "I didn't do that. I just shut it down for 3 months. Everything else is I let the health director of the state decide to keep the schools locked down. I had no input on that." So, and everybody's like, "You're the governor. You could do whatever you want, you know." But I don't know what people feel about it. I'm for and I think this week they did some COVID study, the government, and they kind of said it looks like COVID came from a lab. It was manufactured. They finally admitted that after early on, people, a lot of the news people were like, "This is all BS. Like, he's racist." The former president, and it came from a bat to whatever. Now I think the Congress or the department, one of the department alphabet letter departments in the U.S. in Washington said that it's most likely that this was created in the lab and that's how it got out. And nothing about it in the media. Nobody in the media talked about it. It was just posted on certain independent websites, and like they highlighted. You could read it for yourself. Like, yeah, like this was most likely created in a lab.
I heard that there's another virus being worked on, another gain of function research in Boston. They're calling it the Boston virus or something like that. And supposedly it's actually be more deadly than COVID was. And they don't know how much more deadly, but there's like a higher mortality rate for it. And they're saying, what if this gets out? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the point of this? Are they trying to kill the population? It's like one of those things that doesn't look good, especially in an organization run by the Democrats. Which, by the way, did you guys get any texts recently? I got one pretty much trying to tell me to vote Democrat, and they're like, after the change to Roe versus Wade, it looks like the Democrats are getting more amped up to fight against this, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I tried to block the number, I couldn't. I just had to delete the text.
No, I get the COVID booster shot from the state. I get it like every other month.
No, I get like 30 text messages from different Senate
man, you're a
seats.
popular guy, man.
I try to filter them all to my spam. I actually had to sign up to the RoboKiller app and pay the $5 a month. And I'm hoping after the elections are done, I can cancel it. But I was getting so many in a day that I don't know what list I signed up to. But these guys, they're all after me.
The only one I think you talked about it, or we personally talked about it, and there was commercials. People, they were blasting the fake newspapers. That here in Illinois, we were getting a fake newspaper that was like super Republican. Did you get that one then? I got mine this week.
Through
I
the
thought it
mail?
was fake news. Yeah, in the mail. It was called the King County Reporter.
No,
and
no.
and it had all these news about how Pritzker's like purge law and like sex offense, like all these people are gonna get released January 1st because of Pritzker's purge law. And then in the back it had like top athletes this month in Illinois, and it had like all these athletes. It was very strange. I'm like, oh, this must be the fake newspaper that they're talking about.
No,
They were
I
talking
didn't get
about
that.
it in a lot of the political commercials that don't fall for this fake newspaper. I thought you got it. I thought we talked about it. I thought you received one.
No, I haven't gotten that.
You just get text messages and calls, huh?
Right, for sure.
Is it from the governors or from like some just machine or people running for office?
Well, I keep blocking the number, so they're coming from, I'm imagining, robo dialers, and it's like
But
from
you never
everybody.
answered at all, even early
No,
on.
no, no. I just keep blocking. I don't even respond to stop this text. I'm like, I don't even want to engage at all, and they just keep coming. They just find a new number and send me another one.
Maybe it's Prisker. He's a billionaire saying, "If you vote for me, I'll give you $1 million." You missed
Right,
that call.
for sure.
That wouldn't bother you.
Well, I wouldn't vote for him to begin with, so I wouldn't get
Not
that.
even for $1 million.
$1 million or $1,000?
Million.
Oh, $1 million? I might consider voting for him for $1
You got
million.
my vote, Governor.
Right.
But yeah, I will see by the time the episodes drop. Like we said, we'll have results and we'll see how things go. Hopefully, I'm just tired of reading like people's rights to vote are being suppressed and some of that stuff. It's just very strange. But hopefully everything goes smoothly and we'll see what happens because it's an interesting time, especially with this president and the way he's engaging the people and a lot of his missteps that he's had this past year. I think people are ready. I think he got in because he's like people just didn't like the other guy. So, but we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how everything goes after this Tuesday, and let us know what you guys think at ffnquestions@gmail.com. But let's change it up here, something a little bit less serious, or maybe serious. I see Danny started rewatching Breaking Bad. That's considered one of the great shows in the last like 10, 15 years. I've been thinking about rewatching it, but is it still holding up, Danny?
Yeah, Breaking Bad, man. It's an awesome show. I've seen it once before, so I started rewatching it just because we finished Better Call Saul. And man, it's different watching it again, knowing what's gonna happen, but it's still awesome, man. I still really enjoy it. You guys both seen it, right?
Yeah, dude, I saw it way back. Yeah, it was a great show though. One of my favorite all time.
You seen it, Andy?
Breaking Bad, yeah, I watched it. I watched it on when it was on TV, but I haven't rewatched it.
Okay. Yeah, man. To me, it's an awesome show. I'm enjoying it. Still watching it again. We're about halfway through the entire series. So hopefully we're just powering through. I'm just watching them. And it still holds up, man. It's still an awesome show. It's kind of cool to see the pivot points of when things happen, when Walter's like, all right, if you would have stopped here, maybe things could have panned out and worked out. But now that you took it to the nth degree, how things changed and maybe didn't turn out for the better, for those people that haven't seen the entire series. But awesome show. I'm still enjoying it, even though it's my second watch through, but good show. Not as good as Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul, man. Don't sleep on that, guys. You got to watch it, man. That's a really awesome show. But Breaking Bad, man, it's still great for a second watch.
So, Breaking Bad, going back, the metamorphosis of Walter White. Do you think he was just bad in the beginning, or like what he turned into? I mean, he still had a bright of. I feel like he wanted to help Jesse out at the end, but the character in general was just, I don't want to say evil, but he was definitely bad. Like he had bad intentions.
I think it's like maybe a lot of people out there where it starts off with the intent to help a few people, help your family, you're sick, you're dying, XYZ. But then you get a taste of that power and you like it. For the most part, your life has been mild manner Clark Kent kind of life, and you're just kind of doing the 9 to 5. It's kind of mundane and boring, maybe in some people's eyes. And you get a little taste of excitement. And this guy loved it. He grasped it and didn't want to let it go, even though he had multiple occasions to kind of let it go and satisfy his need of helping the people financially and helping other people, which way and whatnot. But he still wanted more. So I think that the show, watching it a second time, you get to see that with a little more know-how, knowing that what's going to happen.
Well, there's a clip. The reason I bring it up, and I think he, if there was a regret, like almost his origin, I feel why he became the way he did. There's an episode I forgot where he's talking to Jesse, and he was telling him how
Right.
he fucked
When
up
was the
by
perfect time to die and leave?
no. He was talking about where he was in this company with some friends from college, and he invested like $5,000, and then he was talking about how he had to sell his portion because money was tight, and I think his wife maybe might have been bitching about it or something. So he sold out. He got his shares bought out by his other two partners for like $10,000 or something. And he asked Jesse, "You ever heard of this company?" He goes, "No." Well, they make this. You know how much that company's worth? He's like, "It's worth like $2 billion." So, and he completely missed out because I don't know if he was listening to his wife, or, and I feel like ever since that point forward, it's been nothing but, like you said, a struggle, especially when he got sick. And I feel like from that point on, he's like, once I get my next shot and that next opportunity, I'm gonna fucking do it no matter what the cost. And I think that's why he, not that he was, maybe he was always bad, but now he's like, this is in front of me. I'm not gonna let it go, and I'm not gonna let it fall through my hands, slip through my hands again, because I had it once and I had to give it up because I did the right thing by my family.
Yeah,
And this
Right.
time he's like, fuck that.
he felt like emasculated too after that. He felt
Yes.
just like he wasn't the man, you know, he didn't have the respect he felt like he should have, especially in his family. It's like they treated him like I mean, for lack of a better term, like kind of like a bitch, you know, and everywhere he went, he would always get treated in that certain way. And so this gave him that power back, and you could see like that power grab and how he felt so strong around everyone, you know, and he was so respected by so many tough people, like hard people respected him, you know, and looked up to him. So yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, for sure. Good show, man. Go watch it. But now a little negative, man. I don't know if you guys have Amazon Prime, but Amazon Music, man. I don't know if these guys noticed if you do have it, but they limit your skips now. You can't just skip unlimited like you used to. They just recently, within the last few days or week or so, they changed their format to where now all Amazon users, if you're a Prime subscriber, you get a wider selection of their catalog. They no longer hold it completely behind their unlimited subscription thing where you have to pay monthly. Now you get a bigger catalog. So let's say the catalog is 10 million, and before you had 2 million with your Prime automatic music subscription. Well, now you got 5 million, or say so. So you increased your library, but at the cost of now you have a limited amount of skipping. And to me, I'm not digging it, man. I'm not digging it at all. I've gotten so used to just playing a station. I'll play like the oldie station or whatever. And as songs come on, I'm digging it. I'm listening. Okay, I'm done. Next. All right, digging it, digging it. No, I don't like this one. Next, next, next. Yeah, I like this one. And just having like the option to move on to the next song. And now, the last couple days or whatever, I'm hitting next, 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 like I usually do. And then I'm stuck. I'm stuck where I can't do anything but listen for I don't know how long of a time before it resets again, but I'm not liking it, man. Granted, it's a free service with my Prime subscription, but to me, it kind of seems like less of a feature now. Instead of it being a bonus, like, hey, be a Prime member and you get video and music and this and that. To me, now it's kind of like a regression of their features. I don't know if any of you guys use Amazon Music.
I've used I used it a while back, but unfortunately, I was kind of like you. The music that I did want to listen to was always behind their subscription one, or the additional, their premium one, I guess I wanted to call it. And and I kind of got turned off by that, and I didn't really want to pay for any other subscription, so I just used a lot of YouTube and deal with the ads. But at least you can forward through the ads on a couple of them. But how much is? I know it's part. You get that basic one. It's in your Prime service, or it's the bonus. How much is there? What was it called? Amazon Unlimited or something? Well, how much is that a
Right.
month? I don't even know.
I'd guess like $9. Not really sure.
Fuck that. How much is like Spotify or the other ones?
I
The
think
music
they're.
ones. Ain't
Yeah,
they
I think they're
cheap?
all. No, I think they're all in the same ballpark. I would say anywhere between maybe like $8 to like $15. I would say.
Fuck that. It's a lot of money for music. Yeah, I don't know. And plus, I'm not crazy. So whether you just forced to listen to the entire song, how long does it reset? Is it daily? Is it hourly that you're allowed to forward, or is
I
it like?
I haven't looked at other than it getting on my nerves. I haven't checked into it too much more, but I could see there are people that dig music more. I mean, you mentioned yourself, you have subscriptions to movies and Netflixes or whatever. I don't know which ones you pay for, but you do pay for it because you like watching and that's your entertainment. But there's some people that get a lot of entertainment out of music and they're willing to pay that Amazon Music for the catalog and the Spotify premium and the Pandora premiums and all that because maybe they don't watch movies. Maybe they're always, out and about and moving around and you're not stationary to watch a movie. So I know it entices a lot of people. And actually, Junior was asking me, he wanted the YouTube music. And he's like, oh, it's a 30-day free subscription to test it out. I think I want it. I got the money for it. And I think it's like $20 a month or something. And I'm like, it's up to you. As soon as the trial ends, be ready to pay. And sure enough, like after like 20 or so days, he's like, yeah, Daddy, I don't think I want to pay all that money for the music. So he ended up canceling his free subscription. But yeah, there's some people that dig it and are really into it.
So do you dig it enough to pay the monthly fee then?
No. I've done in like Black Fridays in the past where they have like a good deal. Signed up to unlimited for like 3 months for like $1, stuff like that. But I've never really loved it enough where I'm like, okay, let me pay on a constant monthly basis for this thing. So,
But that's what I'm saying. Like you paid for it. Was it worth it? That now then, but you wouldn't pay full price.
right? No, I wouldn't, or at least not for me. But yeah, something else on the Amazon avenue here. I watched the Samaritan movie that Sylvester Stallone vehicle movie. I don't know if I think you mentioned it, Noel. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it was like a superhero one.
Right. Yeah, I watched it the other day, and to me it was okay. It kind of had like that Will Smith Hancock kind of vibe to it, as far as it trying to be a superhero movie, but kind of have a different spin to it. And it was okay. It wasn't anything bad by any means, but to me, it seemed a little predictable as far as the story plots were going to hit. I guessed the ending early on in the movie. I could see like the hints being dropped throughout the movie, and I'm like, this is going to be the twist at the end. I'm like, I know it. I didn't even want to vocalize it to Alana because I didn't want to kind of mention it and kind of get her head into it, but sure enough, at the ending, I was just like, man, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to be like the little M. Shyamalan twist or whatever. But it was a good movie. I think for people that like superhero movies, you like that kick-ass superhero movie or that Hancock superhero movie where it's like a different style of superhero movie. I think it's definitely serviceable, and I've always been a fan of Stallone. I think he's a half decent actor, and I had an itching for it because I was looking actually for Rambo, and that's what popped up, and I'm just like, okay, I'll watch this instead of Rambo. So, pretty good movie. Enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on it, Noel?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much called it. Like, it's a good movie to watch. It's definitely not a regret or anything that, it's just, it's obviously, it's a superhero movie. It's not gonna win Oscars, So it's not that kind of movie. It wasn't going for that. So it's entertaining. The plot, I called it like within the first probably 20 minutes of the movie. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here. Uh, I don't want to spoil it, right, for anyone that's gonna watch. It's not even a big spoiler, to be honest with you. It's pretty evident. Like you can see what's gonna happen, and I thought it was cool though. I thought like his power was cool,
Right.
and just seeing him still in shape, good shape. Like if you compare the people, he's actually older than Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he looks like 10 years younger. It's pretty
Right.
incredible, dude. Like he's taking really good care of himself.
Yeah, for sure, man. I thought the CG that they had and some of the graphics, the cinematography was pretty good. The movie was overall pretty well done, but yeah, I think the plot was probably the weakest point, but definitely not super weak, so enjoyable enough for sure. Did you even see this, Andy? I think I mentioned it to you, and you didn't have any interest in
I
it at
saw
all.
the trailer. I mean, they were playing it a lot on Thursday Night Football, and I think I saw the official trailer, and I'm like, And, like I have like I might check it out, but I'm not in no rush to see it. But it was the premise like that I got from the trailer. He's an old superhero and he's working at a factory or something. So, and then they're like, "We need you." So I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." I'm like, I might check it out, but I'm in no rush to see it.
Yeah, I don't think people need to run over each other to go see it, but a good movie to go watch for sure. And then I guess the last thing I wanted to bring up is with Halloween just passed, I saw one of those clown guys out in the street. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys. I think I spoke to you, Andy, at work
Yeah,
about
you
it.
mentioned that. Yeah.
But yeah, man, we were driving home, and I think it was like after going grocery shopping or something. And I'm just driving down the street, and as I'm driving down the street, people have their decorations up here in this neighborhood. There's quite a few homes that decorate their houses for Halloween. So they got like pumpkins, and they got these animated air things where they like move a little bit. And so from the distance, I saw this clown just standing there, and I thought it was part of the decorations, and I didn't really think anything of it. So I'm kind of just seeing it in the peripheral vision, and I'm driving, listening to whatever I was listening to. And as I'm getting closer, I see that his head is pivoting and staring at me. So then now I like it gets my full attention when I turn around and I see it. And sure enough, man, it's some kid with a clown mask, and it's just staring at us as we're driving by. And I'm driving kind of slow because it's my neighborhood, and I'm not trying to drive like a maniac. So I'm driving like 15 miles per hour, just kind of chilling past, and it was kind of creepy, man. Junior was oblivious. He was tuning out, listening to his Yahoo music or whatever he was listening to. And I'm like, Junior, did you see that? There's a clown there. And he's just like, what? And I went around the block to see if he was still there, uh, so that Junior could see him, and he was gone already. So I saw one of those clown guys. I didn't think I would ever see it because I know it was a phenomenon like 3 or 4 years ago where clowns were popping up everywhere. But yeah, I finally saw one myself.
Was your wife with you at the time?
Yeah, we had just finished grocery
So
shopping,
did
so
she see it or just you?
it was the same thing, because when I, shouted to Junior about it, she's just like, "Yeah, isn't that weird too? I just thought it was decorations," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." So it was like, exactly, she had the same thoughts that it's really weird because we just saw it blending in with the background of all these people's decorations, and no, it was some clown just staring at us.
At any time where you're like, I mean, I'm gonna have to stand my ground and protect my family and do some crazy shit, or were you just like, huh? It's
No,
just some dumb kid trying to scare people.
yeah, I never got scared or anywhere like I got to rush home and get my gun or anything like that. It was more like Wow, man. I'm like, I never thought I would see something like this. I always thought it was just in the movies or in TV or in like YouTube that you watch these videos. But yeah, man, I saw a kid in my neighborhood with that. But speaking of scaries, man, Noel, tell us about this Guillermo de Tormo. Usually he does scary movies. What's he up to right now?
So he actually produced or was the creator of this show. It's called Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, and it's like an anthology series, 8 episodes long, I believe. And he gives a bunch of different directors essentially like free reign to make, you know, what he envisioned and bring it to life in their own way. And so he gives them all like an episode each to do that, and they're not connected in any way. Like I said, they're in an anthology, but each episode has like its own theme and its own story that's pretty decent, dude. I would say certain episodes are better than others. To me, like I liked episode 1, 3, and 5. 2 and 4, they were still good and entertaining, right? But it's just certain episodes stand out above the others, and it's pretty cool, like the theme and the execution, and they're all like horror related. You know, like the first one's like the occult, and the third one is also like it's like witchcraft and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It delves into different kinds of things. It's all roughly horror related though. Have you guys heard of this show before?
No, what network is this on?
Netflix.
Netflix? Oh, okay. I'm surprised it hasn't popped up on my feed because I do watch horror movies. But yeah, no, I haven't seen or even heard of this before. It kind of sounds like the grindhouse thing that where there's like different directors and it's kind of like little shorter stories and maybe not a full story kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what it had? It had a vibe of like a mix between Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, sweet, man. Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. Like I said, some episodes are better than others, so it's really up to your particular taste. But I found like coincidentally, every other episode was like my new favorite. So it was like 1, 3, and 5 were like they stood out above the others. But I just finished episode 6. I'm gonna watch 7 and 8 and see how that ends up. But so far so good, man. I'm a big fan of his, Guillermo del Toro's. He's
Right.
done some pretty good stuff. Um, when you have the ability to do like a higher rating, like when you do R-rated stuff, to me it stands out more. I was actually kind of disappointed at one of his works, which was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He was a part of that project, and unfortunately they did a PG-13 rating, which
I was gonna say, it
really
sounds like
like.
a kid's show.
Wait, did you ever read the books? Because they
Yeah, it's
were
a kid's
No,
book. Yeah.
is it
yeah.
okay?
Oh,
I
it was
got like
awesome.
half an hour through that movie too, and I was just like, ah, man, it doesn't feel right. But I used to love that book when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't even know how many times you guys read it to me. I read it on my
Right.
own.
Uh-huh.
It was one of my favorite things because I love like getting scared. I don't know why. As a kid, it was like I watched horror movies and all that stuff. And so anyway, yeah, that movie unfortunately didn't live up to the expectations of what I was expecting. Having read the book so many times, but you know, it is what it is. Thankfully, Cabinet of Curiosities, it is a little darker, a little more mature. It has many actors you're gonna recognize. Like every episode has somebody you're gonna recognize. For example, the most recent one I watched, episode 6, has the guy from Harry Potter, Rupert Grint. He was Harry Potter's like best friend.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
it's
redhead kid?
yeah. I'm trying to remember his name. Isn't it like Mosley, something like that?
I don't know.
I
I
like
don't.
Dan's name better, the redhead kid.
Yeah, he's the one that got hooked up with Hermione. Oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking his name. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And so he's in that 6th episode.
Nice, nice, man. Sounds interesting. I'm gonna have to tune in and check it out.
Yeah, yeah. If you have Netflix, definitely recommend it. It came out I think earlier this month, but it's one of those things where they released it pretty soon. So like It's not like you have to wait a week for every episode. I think they're all available now. So, and another thing I watched, actually watching in theaters, was Black Adam. It's a comic book movie by DC. It's kind of in the same universe as Shazam and Superman. And I went to watch it at AMC, and we watched it in Rosemont. They have the Dolby Surround for this particular theater or this particular room in the theater, the movie room. And so the sound quality, to me, man, it's unmatched. I was fucking blown away. Literally,
Really?
my cup was almost blown away. I had
Dang.
a cup of water that I put on the table because it's like one of those dine-ins. So you can order,
Right.
pizza, burgers, and cheese fries, whatever you want, right? And they'll deliver it to your seat. So it was like cool for that experience. And then I had a bottle of water, and there was so much like explosions in the movie that anytime there was like something like that happening, you could feel the rumbling in your seat, and the water was shaking on the table. It was like almost falling off the table multiple
Wow.
times.
It's like
So I'm
Jurassic
just,
Park and shit.
dude, it was insane, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, I haven't had a movie like that before. Obviously, most theaters have good surround sound. It stands above, the typical home theater setup. But this one makes all those other theaters like look like like amateur hour, dude. It was insane.
Wow.
So it was really cool to watch it for that effect. I think going forward, any like major action movie, I'm probably gonna watch in an AMC with that Dolby surround, dude.
Thanks for going to AMC, man. That helps me in the long run.
Yeah,
Well,
I have. I think that Rosemont Theater and I think a few others have that 4D. I don't know if you've seen that where they have
yeah.
the movies in 3D. They have the badass sound, and your seats will move with the movie and give you like that fourth dimension. And actually, there's even like if there's water scenes, they'll spray like a mist at you. If there's like a funk in the air, they'll spray like the scent so you could smell it as well. And it's I saw I haven't seen a movie yet in that atmosphere, or at least not a mainstream movie like this, like Black Adam, which I don't know if they have it, but let's say they did. I have seen a couple Lego movies with Junior when he was younger, and it was pretty cool, man, because your seat rumbles and moves with explosions, and if there's some kind of action going on, and it really feels pretty cool, man. It feels almost like you're on a roller coaster, but while you're watching the movie.
That is pretty cool, man. I remember having that idea like 20 years ago. I said like, why don't they do this and do that? But it's crazy they're finally implementing it because that is a way to immerse yourself in that movie.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's that Rosemont that has it. Only very few movie theaters have it. It's called 4D or 4XD or something like that, or 4DX. I forgot what the initials are.
There's a lot of foreign there, man.
Right. But it's like it's not only 3D, but it's the fourth dimension. It's like another, way to immerse you into it. But yeah, how's the Black Adam movie, man? I've been hearing a lot of good stuff. Don't spoil because I still got to watch it. And we were gonna actually try to go yesterday, but Junior was like in a lazy mood and he didn't feel like leaving the house. And then it was so windy. I'm like, hey, man, I might as well stay home in case a tree falls on our house and I could take care of it.
No, yeah, dude. I do recommend you watch it when you get a chance, especially in theaters if you get a chance. Um, I would say
AMC
overall,
preferably.
yeah, dude. Definitely if you have one by you, AMC. Um, I would probably give it like a 7.3.
Okay.
I like to use the decimal system. I know some people just give a flat number, but to me, that's leaving a lot of room for interpretation. 7.3 is like an accurate number, for me. It's not gonna make Oscars. It's not gonna get Academy Award winning like what's it called prizes or anything like that. But
It's a
Right, right.
popcorn movie, right? You
it, it
enjoy it for what's
it's a
going on.
higher level popcorn movie.
Oh
I want to
shit,
say, yeah, it's higher level in the sense that like
some gourmet shit,
yeah, I mean, I guess gourmet.
gourmet popcorn.
Oh man, where you put like that cheddar or like
Hmm.
a seasoning on
The
it?
seasoned
Yeah,
salt, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
shit,
there you
man.
go. It's that that Garrett's, dude. That Chicago. You know what I mean?
There you go. Chicago mix. Yes.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
it was good, man.
I'm really anxious to see it. I mean, don't tell me, but I really dug Shazam, and I know Junior really dug Shazam too. He really liked it a lot, and I'm excited because I've been trying to not get spoiled, but I've been seeing all this Superman talk, so I got a feeling Superman pops in there. So I'm like super excited to see it. I can't wait, man. I feel like I'm gonna get spoiled if I don't see it soon, but man, I gotta see when I get a chance to go out to the theater and watch it.
Yeah, it's definitely his origin story for Black Adam, and there's a couple plot twists in there. And the way they did it, I thought was really fucking awesome in the sense that. So I don't know if how much you know about Black Adam. Going into it, I didn't read his comics. I don't know too much about him. Like I said, this is an origin story, so it was perfect for me to watch it, even without having read the comics or anything.
Right,
I know he's part of the Shazam universe. I know he's part of that whole thing,
right,
but everyone always made him out to be a villain, and so I was expecting a villain, and it turns
right.
out he's like it's like a mixture between a hero and a villain. So it's like an anti-hero, kind of
Oh,
like
so he's
Batman.
like Venom and shit.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That'd be a good way to describe it. Like, kind of like Venom, where he's not a complete like villain, like 100% evil, but he will murder anyone
Right,
who gets in his way, and
right,
without remorse. And it was like so cool to see. And there's other people in it. You have Hawkman. You have it's not even a spoiler. Like I think you already know from the trailers and stuff. They have some of the Justice Society of America in it.
right.
You have Atom Smasher. I think there's a girl named Cyclone, I believe, and Dr. Fate, who's played by Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I
He
saw that.
he was cool, man. I was glad to see him. It's been a while since I've seen him in a movie, and as Dr. Fate, he did well, man. I really dug that part of it.
Cool, man. Cool. It's exciting, man. Can't wait to see it.
But
Was
last
there
thing I
like
want,
real quick note at the end after a scene after the credits type of deal for that movie?
yes, there was,
There
yeah.
was. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
want to know. I know DC starting to do that shit too, so that's why I'm asking. I heard a rumor.
So I mean, most people already know what it's gonna be. Now, yeah, I don't really want to spoil it, but it's not. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a it's like
Yeah. No,
literally 10
no
seconds.
spoiler, man. We'll watch it after the credits.
Okay, yeah, it's a quick thing. It's a quick
Right.
thing. Don't get too hyped about it. It's like
Oh, so
10.
so don't go pee right away. Stand out. Stay for the credits.
Well, the credits do take a little bit, so you're gonna be there like 2 minutes, 3 minutes,
Jesus.
and then it's like 10 seconds, and
All
then
right.
that's it. Then the movie's done. Um, but yeah, it was cool. I waited for it. I saw it, and I was happy to have seen it. And 7.3 is what I would give it. Dwayne Johnson does a good job. Watching it at AMC, watch it with Adobe if you have it, if you can, if you can do it. It's gonna feel so much better. Every explosion, every punch, you feel that shit, and it's like you get more into it. The music was good. The lighting was cool. Cinematography. It takes place in like Middle East, kind of. It's like a fictional area, but it's like essentially Middle East. So it was cool to see that part of it. Um, yeah, last thing I want to say, a little shout out to Kevin Nash and his podcast, and condolences to his loss. He lost his son recently. Um, I found out about this through his podcast. It's called Click This. I do recommend people who are a fan of wrestling, who are a fan of Kevin Nash, NWO, all that sort of stuff. Check out that podcast. It's really, really entertaining and really funny. Actually, man, it was a good podcast. It's just started up a little bit ago.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it. I like the host. He did a lot of shoot interviews, kayfabe commentaries. I can't think of his name,
It's
but
like Sean Oliver or
Sean
something.
Oliver. There you go. He wrote a book. Unfortunately, I heard the podcast, the clips. I tried to listen to it. They were funny in the shoot interviews they did, but like in the podcast, I'm not feeling that. Um, I think Sean's just letting him say whatever. He's not really dictating or executive producing stuff. But the stories are good. It's just I don't feel like they have the same chemistry as they did on their shoot interviews. Which is he started uploading his shoot interviews, the Cape Fade commentaries on a YouTube channel, and he rotates them in and out from because he has a monster library. But yeah, I did hear about that. I think they're on Conrad's network, and yeah, I did hear about his son passing too. So my condolences.
Yeah, this it's surprising that you bring this up. I saw this pop up on my podcast feed as like a suggested video, and I was just like, "Oh wow, Kevin Nash got a podcast." But who doesn't nowadays? I mean, I've been seeing
Yeah,
tons of wrestling podcasts, so I kind of gave it that weight. I'm like, man, everybody else got a podcast. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm not gonna waste my time on it. I'm already juggling like 6 different podcasts to begin with. But if you're mentioning that, it sounds pretty good or pretty, like pretty interesting. I might have to at least download one episode and check it out.
Yeah, no, I recommend it. I know a lot of other people have podcasts now. I think Robin Dam has one too.
Right.
That's another one I've checked out every now and again. But I can see the quality differences among different podcasts, and I want to say Kevin Nash is pretty good, especially considering he just started. There's always like kinks to work out whenever you start a podcast. Even when we started, like we had things to work through and little hiccups here and there. So I'm not judging it too harshly with like sometimes he'll be a little quiet in his
yeah,
podcast. I'll put it on in the morning while like I'm getting ready for work, and I had to like crank up the volume. But then Sean Oliver's a little louder, so it's kind of like an imbalance there. But it's just like nitpicky shit, you know. Ultimately, what is the content? That's what matters. And I've always respected Kevin Nash's like view on the industry, view on like the behind the scenes stuff, and he tells it like it is in a respectful way, but he still, it's
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they did shoot interviews, I mean, for those who don't know, it's where wrestlers get asked a bunch of questions about their time in certain wrestling things. And he did a couple shoot interviews with Sean Oliver, and they were pretty good. It was relaxed. I think Kevin Nash was like drinking wine. It seems like they were shooting the shit. And when I heard that they started this podcast, I got kind of excited. Maybe they're gonna talk about more recent stuff. And like I heard a couple episodes, and I was just like, that flow is not there. And it's just like not that there's like a disconnect. I feel like uh, it's not maybe forced. I don't know, but it's not gelling like the shooter movie. That's all I got to say about it. But when Kevin Nash tells his point of view or whatever question or whatever, he goes into these. He explains it well, but then like that's it, and like nothing really. There's no follow up or anything sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, I just was not feeling it.
It
yeah,
might be that they're working remotely, so maybe that's the disconnect that you're feeling because usually those shoots interview are in the same room, or maybe it's getting the sense of when one guy is done talking so that the other guy can retort. It could be that disconnect too.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's just not there for me. I mean, I know. I think I listened to it. I listened to it more as clips. I think I prefer that method. So I'm not gonna sit there and listen to the whole show, unfortunately.
I hear what you mean. I put it on his clips as well because I like how they actually they clip it pretty well. Like it
Yes.
covers whatever that question is. If they talk about Triple H and whatever, they'll talk about it for those 5 minutes, and it's an entertaining 5 minutes. Like I'm intrigued, you know. Um,
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about with the disconnect, and all I can really say is this guy lost two incredibly close people in his life. He
Yeah.
lost Scott earlier, I think it was this year in May,
Mm-hmm.
and then he lost his son. So, and his son was a big part of the podcast. He was like
Yes.
one of the producers, and he was part of it. And so, he even mentions it in one of the episodes of the podcast that he's like, it's difficult because he'd normally be looking across the room, and his son would be there, and he could, he goes into detail about it, and there's some emotional moments, so I'm cutting him a lot of slack in the terms of like production value because I mean obviously it could be better, but it could be worse, and he has a good perspective on things, and that's what I listen to it for. He still has that funny attitude even despite all this pain he's going through, and he even discusses how he lost his father at a young age and just all the shit he's gone through. And so like I cut him a lot of slack. Right now he's going through so much grief and he's still making episodes. He's still living life, and so that's all we can really do. It inspired me, at least. I see it, I'm like, damn, You lose your own son, and the next week you're back to it. Like you didn't miss a beat, and you're still trying to be laughing. You're still trying to be funny. And it's not that he didn't care about his son. He cares about him so much, but he just like that's how much strength this guy has. He can still just keep on living and enjoying life.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, man. So that's pretty much what I've been doing this lately. Just checking out these shows, podcasts, and stuff, and ultimately, speaking about certain funny podcasts and things going on. I heard there's an article that you wanted to share, Daniel. Is a funny moment on the internet.
For sure, man. Let's go into our article of the week. All right, man. So yeah, this is our article for this week. There's really not much to the article. It's more of this video clip that was on TikTok, and the article does break it down, but it's a little unnecessary. I think you could just watch the video and get the sense of it. But yeah, man, it's this new dad that was humiliated at the SeaWorld in Florida, I think it was, after he's walking with his family and he gets embarrassed in front of everybody. And to me, just my quick thoughts is, how did this person even start recording this particular family, and for what reason? It almost makes me feel like this was set up, kind of, because how would you even catch this moment unless you've been recording for like half an hour and this is the only like 15-second portion of it that was interesting, and all the rest was kind of just useless recording. But anyways, the video is this newly mother and father, and the mother is carrying the diaper bag along with the newborn baby, and they're walking looking for their seats for the SeaWorld demonstration. And so she's carrying both the baby and the diaper bag, and the dad is just kind of strolling along. And it appears like there's like this clown like kind of entertaining the people as as people are sitting down and the show hasn't started yet. And this clown kind of gestures to the woman like, hey, this guy's with you, right? This is the dad. Because it's almost like I don't know if he's mining, like he
It's a
doesn't talk.
mime. Then.
Or is he? Okay.
Yes, the article
Okay.
says that he is a mime.
All right. So he's
a clown.
so he's miming to him like this is the guy with you, right? And she's like, yeah, yeah. And so then the clown guy stops. So stops
the
her.
dad or the mime?
They all stop. And then the mime takes the diaper bag off the mom and gives it to the dad and is like, here, like, do something, man. Like, help this lady out. And she's carrying your child here. And then so the crowd kind of gets into it and starts whooping and cheering or whatever. And the dad kind of takes it in stride. He kind of just like, yeah, yeah, okay, okay. And then he walks off, and that's about where the video ends. But it was kind of funny to see something like this. And it just brought back all the memories of me with Junior and helping raise with my wife. And I remember the diaper bag specifically because if it was fruity looking, or if it like had like all these like patterns or fluorescent colors, I forewarned my wife. I'm like, I'm not carrying this thing. I'm not carrying this thing. I don't want people to think that it's a purse and I'm carrying this thing around. I'm like, I'll carry Junior. You can carry that bag. Unless it's like a manly looking bag, then I can carry the bag and you can carry Junior. Or I can do both. I can carry Junior and the bag. But I'm not carrying no fruity looking bag. And that's the way we handle it, man, for us. If it was a somewhat manly bag, like now they come in like book bag kind of things, I would carry something like that. Or if it was like
ours looks like a backpack, like a gray backpack. No flowers or nothing. Then
like to me that I would carry that and it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, for sure, man. If it was some kind of like light teal color with flowers on it, no way, I'm not carrying that thing. I'll carry Junior. You can carry that bag. But yeah, man, with you, Andy, being a new father, man, do you run across this occasion, or how have you guys divvied it up?
I'm kind of like you. Like Well, generally, my son, I carry him in his carrier or whatever. I'm usually the one carrying him, and my wife takes the backpack, or sometimes I do both, depending on what's going on. But generally, she's the one that takes the backpacks, or the diaper bag. But it's I was kind of concerned, like you, what happened if it's like a little, like a super bright bag or something, because she does like flowers and bright colors, and I think that's one of the reasons she picked this backpack, because when they just showed up, and I'm like, oh, okay, it looks like just a backpack, like a normal backpack with a lot of pouches. So like, I think she in her back of her mind, she already knows if I get this, there ain't gonna be no issues of he's gonna carry this shit or not. Nah, but where we run into, we got the baby carrier, then it hooks up to a stroller, right? It's all in one. She
Right.
doesn't like that one, so she bought this other one that's a lot more flexible, and it's easier, and it's easier to maneuver and lighter. So she bought this extra one. And so now we got all two fucking different type of strollers, and she prefers this one compared to the other one. Um, and then there's all sorts of shit now. He got special toys and blankets and pacifiers, and but all that shit. I'm shocked how much you can fit in those backpacks and how many pouches and milks, and he got stainless steel tumblers for his special waters, and it's just amazing how much shit you can fit in those backpacks.
Yeah, for sure. The guy didn't seem like a bad guy or anything like that, and maybe he was the ticket guy or the guy in charge of carrying the food, and they just finished eating, so he's empty-handed. So I think it was just a funny moment caught where the entire crowd was paying attention, especially because this clown meme guy or mime guy was there, kind of exaggerating the situation.
The article does go. His wife defended him. They found her on TikTok, and she goes, "This is me and my husband. We found it hilarious. Wasn't sure what the mime was doing at first. We were confused." Uh, but she goes, "Wow, these comments are insane. We literally just parked the stroller, which he pushed all day. He is seriously the best husband and father." He goes, she went on to say, "We switched off carrying things into the show. I just grabbed my daughter before going in because it was an experience I wanted to share with her." So there you go, a woman making it all about her and forget everything else. Like, uh, why waste time taking off a diaper bag that is going to be put down in less than 5 minutes? So there you go. I mean, the mom and the wife came out and said, "My husband's the best. He was pushing the stroller all day in SeaWorld." And then the article goes into, I don't know if you read the end then, or it just basically goes into not trashing SeaWorld, just talking about how they're messed up and they're struggling because of COVID. Uh, so I don't know. It was a weird article at the end, but early on, and then the comments. The best part of all this stuff is on videos or anything that goes viral is reading the comments, and there were some pretty nice comments that made me laugh.
Yeah, it's weird. I usually avoid comments on stuff like this because I think most people could be pretty mean. Not to get sidetracked, but with all this Twitter thing going on, that's one of the reasons why I left Twitter and I really didn't use it that much, was because of that, is that people could be kind of nasty just for the sake of being assholes. And with everybody kind of like, I'm leaving because Musk took over kind of thing, it's got me kind of interested in going back and joining that community again to see if it's going to be any different.
Oh, it's
But
gonna be worse.
you think so?
They're trying to boycott him or cancel him, and he hasn't done any changes. And he only announced the one change, the charging the monthly fee. So I
Right.
wonder if we're gonna get charged if they consider us a big company on our Twitter pages for the podcast. And then two is, now I'm thinking about that. I wonder if we're gonna get charged. So anyways, and then second, they're threatening to cut the advertisers. Some of the people that are upset about it, and nothing's happened yet. So I don't know. I mean, it's and people are pretty nasty. Like I listen. I'm on a lot of Twitter for the sports and some of the news, and everything is just so polarizing. It's just I don't know. But some of them are funny, and there's people I follow that have opposite political points that I have, and they're like just retweeting like all this BS, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna stop unfollowing them because I follow them for other stuff, but I kind of learned to just turn it off and just read what I want to read.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the world is a toxic place, and if you let it be, man. But that's why you got to focus on the positive and like kind of just remove yourself from all that negativity that's out there.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I think for sure, man. I think it could be easy to jump on the train track with everybody else and pile on and make fun of people. And I think it takes some restraint to kind of step back and not put more vile stuff out there in the world. I think if most people just thought about it for a couple seconds, you'll second think that tweet that will be kind of be evil or mean.
So real quick, there was like we were talking about the article. There was this other viral video that my wife sent me in Hispanic culture when you have a birthday party. You know how you put the person's when they blow off the candle, you put their face in the cake. Um, so there was one video where the kid is they're singing happy birthday, and I don't know what it was, but he was trying to slam one of the kids face into the cake like multiple times, and people got like the parents got all crazy, and I'm like, well, that's tradition, like you do it once, but he kept doing it over. He did it 3 times, and the best part about the video is the comments, and people were just shitting on the parents, shitting on the kid, shitting on the tradition. And there was like a couple people were like, I find this video hilarious. And then people started shitting on that person that laughed at the video. So, but in general, like it was like super like Noel said, toxic. And me and my wife were just like, she's like, I'm not gonna let them do that to our son. I'm like, whatever. Like I don't know. To me, it's something that you do in a Hispanic culture, but I don't know. It was just funny to me, but people are going, the comments is just super super toxic, and people are just shitting on everything in that whole fucking video.
Wow, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want to get too much into it, but it could be kind of nasty out there, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of withdrawn from a lot of social media. But yeah, man, we'll see how this new Elon Musk world pans out. I'm hoping it doesn't become more vile, and I'm hoping that it'll become more like only the people that really want to be in there are in there, and it's not just people shitting all over each other. So we'll have to see how it is. Maybe I'll join the Twitter world again.
The problem is, just real quick, people need to understand that other people are not going to have the same view as you, and then that's
For sure.
and you just got to be understanding of that, I guess. And I think today it's just so, you don't agree with me, fuck you, you're wrong, you're an idiot, you're an asshole, blah blah blah. It's just that, like, that instant reaction, and none of it's just like, oh, okay, I don't agree with you, but whatever. No, the reaction is to shit on you and try to just to be negative towards you when you might be a good person. You just have different views, mostly on the political side, and then it's just like it just turns negative and toxic like immediately. And like I think that's like a big problem in this country
Right.
right now.
I mean, to me, a perfect example. Me and Andy have been friends since junior high, man. So we've been friends for a long time. Me, my brother, we've been brothers for all our lives. And there are things that we do not agree upon. There's things that me and Andy were just talking about last week that I was like, no, bro, I don't see it like that. I see it like this. So, and we're still friends. We're still family. We still talk. To me, I just think that it just needs to be open dialogue. And yeah, people are going to disagree and not think exactly the same. And that's fine.
Yeah.
There's not a problem with that.
No, exactly. So that's why I said, like, it's. I think we're older, so we grew up with listening to other people that we necessarily we didn't agree with, and you just chose to turn them off. Like, I'm not listening to that nonsense. But today it's just like, no, this person should not be heard at all. Fuck him, get rid of him. He's instead of just saying like, don't listen to him, he's an idiot. Now it turns into he's an idiot, and we got to get him off this platform. Like, and he should be banned everywhere. And I'm just like, okay. So you don't want to, like, he shouldn't be listened to at all. And then that's when other stuff starts to happen, and it snowballs from there, and people and companies get pressured into just fucking get rid of them, like you don't exist on the social media.
For sure, man. But by the way, that was a funny video.
Poor guy, man. He got attacked because his wife wanted to share a moment with his daughter, so and people are going after him. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think in today's just day and age, people are judging more and respecting less, and it should be the other way around. But you know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, in the future, people do become more patient. But it looks like that wraps things up for today, guys. Want to thank everybody for joining us on the Freeform Network. If you're not already, you need to follow us on Facebook at Freeform Network, on Twitter at FFR Podcast. At least for now, until they charge us, we'll see. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please send that email to ffnquestions@gmail.com. This is from Freeform Radio. My name is Noel, and we have Daniel.
Yes, sir. Go out there, enjoy your day. The fall is done. Winter is here. It's cold outside, so get those jackets out.
And we got Andy.
It's all good, Andy. I want to thank you for listening. And we don't mind if you have a different point of view. We'll listen, but doesn't mean we agree with you. But hope everybody has a good week, and then we'll talk to you next time.
Exactly. Wish you a great night and a beautiful tomorrow.
That was cool, Dad.